All right. All right. Go ahead and pan out. Bring it back. No, I mean, you just get back. Okay. So that's what, my mission is fishing. Basically, we've been working on this pump and this bait tank. I did re-gel coat it, and it's not as good as I'd like it to be, but and then we had to lay this up on the inside and this outside to get this through hole fitting in. And then I've got this new hose over here we're going to tie that into that. Okay, and then what I also did is I ran some new 14 gauge wire to here, this light, which I left this light because the other light, I left this fitting in because the light actually pops in, and I bought this other one and it's a blue light. We'll show you later what it looks like when I'm done. And then we put some shrink wrap here, some shrink wrap here, and then shrink wrap here. Where my other connections are there, and then those connections are shrink wrap, and I used a special tool to crimp that down. Okay, and then this 14 gauge here, let me glue this one up. This is 1.5 pond water PVC flexible pipe, so you can glue this directly into a fitting like that. Okay, cool. All right, now we're just going to glue this up. This is transition glue that you can use for this. You have to put primer, purple primer on the Pond Flex, but you don't have to put the purple primer on this. So you just use this onto that. Put this over here, and then I'm going to push that in and hold that. And then this is going to go right there, and that's where my fitting's going to go to the bait tank. So we're going to hold that, and we'll get that guy. That'll be this will be great to get out there and go fishing soon. Go ahead and pause that for the plane. So that 1.5 drain goes through here, through another through hole fitting. That's where I have another fish hold, and there's other fittings over there. And I made a transition to that. And then I wanted to show you down here what I did is I put this starboard for some backing board. I got to change those filters. They're looking pretty rough. And but I put my bait pump over there. There's so much work that I have to do to this boat. It wasn't in that great a shape, to be honest. Okay, so then what I did is I put my Shurflo. It is a Pentair, but yeah, basically Shurflo Pro Bait Master. And then here's my through hole fitting that looks horrible, but it's gonna have to make do for the fishing season. And then that goes there. There's 2 hose clamps onto that. Goes up to this fitting here. There's my fuel line next to it. But this has a 90 on it. It goes to there. And then it goes out. And then goes up through. And then it's going to feed the bait tank. So that's what I've been working on lately. And just to clean this up, that's why I use that starboard. And then what I also did is I used some special fittings. I don't know what they're called, but just to mount the screws for the I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if we can look at those screws. Yeah, there's a screw, stainless steel hardware that yeah, it's really hard to see. So that's a machine screw, and then I don't know if you've ever seen those. It looks like a star fitting that you drill a hole and then you hammer it in, and it's got a thread. It's like on cabinets. Cabinet makers use them sometimes. But yeah, I used it on my starboard so I could just use a machine screw so I could pull the pump off of this starboard without having to remove anything else. I could just unscrew those 4 and then pull that pump off if I needed to. All right, so that's what we got. Oh, and then basically, the way I ran this is I got my light is up there. This wire up here is my light, my bait tank light, which ties into my pump. And then I ran a whole new line, this Romex here, which is 12 gauge, and that is 14 gauge. The two I used, let me show you what I used. I used some step down, step up or step down, whatever. I'll get to those. Let me just show you in there. These butt connectors. Let me see if I can find the one that I used. This is, yeah. Let's see here. There's different ones. And I used, yeah, I did. I used this one on that red. This is what I used. So if you look at this, it says line 8 to 12, load 12 to 10. So if you look at the size, you can, that's your 12 gauge. Look at the hole size there. And then you flip this over and then you can see this is bigger. So I put the 214 gauge into that one, crimped it with this special crimper. I want to show you this crimper. This thing is very good quality. I got it at Home Depot, which I'm surprised that it's this good quality, but yeah, they sell good stuff there. So basically how that works is you crimp it all the way down and then it'll release. So you have the different settings for different crimp. Could you hold that for a second so I can show? Okay. So basically this, I used the yellow one for this, and I used it also for this one because this is 12 gauge. And then you crimp it down. Once you get it crimped down, you can see it goes to that specific size right there for each one. So the yellow obviously is for 12 gauge, and blue is a little bit, you know, you can see what you got to do there. It's called color coded there. For some reason these are red and yellow, but you don't use the red on this one. You use it on this one, which it was kind of tough to do it, but anyway, it worked out. Okay, so now that's what we got going there. And we put that, and then we ran a whole new line over to here, back behind this panel, and our bait pump is going to be right here. It's a whole brand new line, not a new breaker, but yeah, I could just turn that on, and then basically it would turn on my bait pump, but I can't turn it on right now because I'm going to let this set up for 24 hours. So this glue here is completely set up. Actually, I might go ahead and pause it here, and then we'll get this thing going. Let me pause it. So let's see if I can somewhat. Okay, is this one on there? I don't know. It's not on there. Okay, I'm gonna get that right there. Yeah, that's all the way in. Okay, and now we're going to get this somehow, some way. Oh, I think what I'm going to do is so what I basically did is I got all this glued up and I got that all ready. I'm going to flip this over and then you'll get it from this angle because I got to connect that. So let's see what we got here. It is not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy being cheesy. Okay, now I'm going to take this up here. If you could put your hand right here. Hold that up so I can make this connection. Okay, lower it down. Lower it down. All right, hold up. Okay, you're not really. Let's get this over here. I need you to hold that like that. And then I'm gonna get this right here, basically. So I'm gonna get this, hold up. Of course I'm thinking which way is the best way. Can you go up a little bit higher? Just so I can get this set up. Down. Yep, that's on there. I need to loosen this a little bit more. I want to be able to take this off, this bait tank, if I need to. Okay, that is completely on there. Okay. Now, let me go ahead and get this tight. I like this pond flex because it is flexible. It's not as flexible as this other line, but there is some flex to it, so I can do what I need to do. Okay, so that's that, and that is on there. Actually, I'm gonna put this on a little bit deeper, just to make me feel a little bit better with that. Yep, that's on there. Okay, let me loosen that up so I can get a better angle. Okay. Yeah, we're getting ready to test this out. This is gonna be awesome. Okay, what I would like to do is I would like to, yeah, we'll set it down. We'll set it down, and we can always lift it up and look at it. Or we could sit a piece of wood. Hold that up, please. Hold that up. Don't let it go down. We're going to do this. We're going to take this. Okay, let it go down a little bit. Okay, yeah, we're going to put that there like that. And then we can look under there to make sure there's no leaks at any of that work with a flashlight. Okay, all right, so we have the through hole turned on. We have the new pump in, and the pump line going out goes over to the bait pump, comes out. Let me get that light. Comes out, and all of our stuff is all tied in. Now, the only thing I don't have is we don't have the my little fish thing. Whoopsie, what was that? That was a flashlight. Yeah, I got to connect my, it's just going to have water coming out of there. I need to have it's like a long tube coming up, a PVC tube with holes cut in it. But you'll get the gist of it. Okay, let's go ahead and turn on the bait pump and see what we got. If we have a massive catastrophe or not. Okay, here we go. Bait pump on. And I have nothing. I have nothing. Oh, man. Well, do I have the light? Do I have the light? I don't have the light. All right, let me pause it. Okay, I got it going. I didn't have the correct wire connector, but we got it tied in there. I need to go get a wire connector. There's the blue light. We'll let that fill up. And then let's go look underneath. So supposedly for bait fish, blue light is a more calming light for the, oh yeah, look at that. That looks so cool. And you can hear the pump going. Any leaks? Can I get the flashlight?
A flashlight?
Yeah. So, yeah, pump's looking good. It's pumping water, we know that. Going on in out of there from the through hole, in there, out, over. Roger. And so that's looking good under there. No leaks. leaks. Okay, now we're gonna set it down gently, and then it'll start dumping, and then we can always lift it back up and look at the pipe, check that out. Here, hold that so I can lift this up and gently just hold it right there for a minute. Actually, hold it up there so you can look at the blue light and everything. There we go. Yeah, looks pretty awesome. Let's see what the other light looks like. Yeah, so you can basically see, yeah, we got our pump going. It's gonna be nice. And then yeah, once I get the that riser put in, then we can and then I can drain this. There, we can just drain the bait pump and take a look at that. That is amazing. Let's go look out here. Yeah, just that's fine. Let's okay, so basically we got the deck space kind of cleaned up just so you could get an idea, a little reference. We still got the tarp on this, or the canvas, but that's what it looks like. It's got the lid. I got some other hardware that I need to put over here. Oh, here it is right here. Okay, you can just lift that up, pull that off, whatever. And then I've got some other hardware that I'm gonna mount. There's like a knife station. Oh, we got a leaker. We got a leaker. Actually, that's where my hardware is gonna mount to that. Yeah, that's fine. The level's high. We just need to make the level a little bit lower. It doesn't need to be that high. Okay. Yeah, that is kind of high. But this is how you learn. So I just need to lower this level here. But yeah, that level's a little bit too high. Whoa! So yeah, we're gonna dump it now, but you can see how blue that is in there. It's pretty awesome looking. It is pretty impressive. I am pretty happy. Once I get the hardware mounted and then I lower the level just a little bit lower, then you know, I just got to lower that level so it doesn't go up that high. We don't want it up that high. But yeah, all right, I can't wait to go fishing with this. We're gonna catch some tuna. We're gonna maybe try to catch some swordfish, some big tuna. We got the tuna door right there. This is gonna be a great fishing vessel. We can, yes sir, and we can drive it up there, spot our fish up there, spot the kelp patties. All right, I guess I'll sign off.
Peace.
Peace.